Hey guys, my name is Paul, and I want to talk to you about something that's actually kind of hard to talk about, and that is my failures. My failures as a streamer and things that we can learn about those here in just a second. Okay, so I've got some tips for you coming from a place that is kind of hurtful. And I want to talk to you about those things that kind of, it's hard to talk about. So if you don't know, I am a Mixer partner, former Mixer partner, because, Mixer's gone. Poof, gone. See ya. No longer exists. I was at the top. I was in the pinnacle. I did the great things. I worked hard. I grinded as we were told to do. If you want to be successful, just grind it out. We'll get there. You get there. And I put in hours and hours and hours and ridiculous amount of time into things. It's kind of dumb, actually. When I think about it, 8 hours a night, and I have a full-time 8-hour job, and gosh, what was I thinking? I was working harder, not smarter. And if I had anything to do over again from the very beginning till now, I would have worked much smarter. So let's talk about those things. So first of all, make sure that what you're doing is not all in one basket. That's one of the biggest mistakes I ever did, is all put it 100% into Mixer. I almost didn't develop anything on really even on Twitter or on Facebook or anything like that. No YouTube content to speak of. I didn't do the stuff that I know intrinsically. We know, like, I'm not really going to say anything that you guys probably don't already know. But as a failure, there's things that we can learn together and move on. How do you go from success to failure, and where do you go from there? We need to have honest conversations about streaming and things. So when you start looking around at the available streaming platforms, you basically got 3. Now you can talk about the other places to stream, but there's really 3 places to stream. That's YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. That's what you got. So if you're going to do that, you're pretty limited, but there's millions of people that are streaming on these platforms, and you're all vying for eyes. You're all vying for the ability to catch people's attention. I was able to do that on Mixer because initially, especially in the beginning, because I created extremely interactive entertainment value. And even though I got tired of that, and there's reasons for that, there was an incentive for people to stay in my streams. Things changed. I stopped playing the games that I played when I was a partner and all that kind of stuff. So we can talk about those things. But one of the things that I was not doing was working smart. I was not creating content in better ways. I was just putting in the hours. Hours equaled views. Hours equaled more people. Hours equaled more money. That's what I thought. What I realize now is that was ridiculous, especially since Mixer failed. Oh, Facebook can never fail. YouTube can never fail. Yeah, it as a matter of fact, it can. Those things can fail on you. Twitch can never fail. Of course it can. Things are created. Things go away. There's been a million websites that have risen to the pinnacle. I mean, if you paid any attention or have any kind of age on you, you'll remember Yahoo and its extremes, or in its height, or you remember AOL and you remember these things. These things go away. MySpace was insanely popular, #1 thing, and it went away. These things possibly can go away. So if you are creating content, don't do what I did and make sure that you are putting your eggs in multiple baskets. That is the simplest thing that you can do, and it takes less time to stream and to grind. In fact, if you're just grinding and you can't afford an editor for your videos and all that kind of stuff, you need to start learning how to edit video. Put 10, 15-minute clips of your stuff, put it on YouTube. Make sure you're putting out clips and things that are interesting on your Twitter page, but make sure you create a Facebook page So you're hitting on all the marks. If you're only on Twitch, if you're only on Facebook, make sure you're getting content on the other platforms as well. You may have an exclusive agreement or whatever, but there's ways to not be live on YouTube, or there's ways to not be live on Twitch. You can upload your clips to Twitch. You can do those things. You can have a presence on multiple different platforms. Don't do what I did and put all your eggs in one basket. Number 2, be willing to listen to the people around you. It's one of the things I didn't do. From the very beginning, I had really good friends. They were extremely supportive. They were telling me, dude, don't put your faith into Mixer. Don't put your faith just into one place. They were telling me this. But what I didn't do is listen to what the people around me were doing. I had very good people that supported me, but what I wasn't hearing was the advice. So you need to really take in the advice. Number 3 is make sure you have that support. If you don't have support when you're in your streaming career, I don't see how you can be successful. Now, there are good success stories that beat the odds, and you can name me 10 people that just said, no, screw you, mom and dad, I'm going to do what I want. There are those people, but they're very minimal amount of people. When you consider the amount of people that are streaming and the amount of people that are partners, it is a very, very small margin. Now, technically, I'm still I'm a Facebook partner, and I got into that because Mixer and Facebook had an agreement. But even still, the amount of partners on Facebook are very small. And if you look at Twitch, there's 45,000-ish partners. Not all of those are active. In fact, a lot of them are not active. So of the active Twitch partners, out of the 5 million or so, or I think it's even grown more since Mixer's gone, streamers that are out there, that's an extremely small percentage of people that are successful and can make a career. So what you need to do is hear those people around you and have support to do it. If you don't have the support, you'll never make it. My wife is probably the most supportive of my content creation. In fact, probably even more so than I am of myself. I have a hard time being supportive of myself. All right. So number 4, be a self-promoter, but don't do it in a cringy way. Doing that all day live tweets every time you go live, making a tweet that you're live, you can do that, but be creative in doing that. Come up with GIFs, come up with different things, but don't be that cringy guy that's constantly posting, I'm live. Why isn't somebody, I only have 1 viewer. Somebody support me. You won't get viewership like that. Constantly spamming in somebody's Discord. I have a self-promo section. I believe in supporting people, and if they've supported me, I'll support you, and I'll try to minimum open a tab and that kind of stuff. But don't be that guy that never comes in to somebody's stream and just spams away, I'm live. I only have 3 viewers. Or I'm live. Don't be that. Do things effectively. Do things right. Do things the right way. All right. So the next tip. This is the hard one. You need to have an honest conversation with yourself if what you're doing is right for you. Now, once I had lost basically all of my viewership coming out, we left Mixer and moved to Twitch. And for a few months, we had some decent momentum, some really good momentum, had some really big support. Once that went away, I had to look around and saying, is what I'm doing, is my grind, do I really want to put the 8 hours again into this a day? Do I really want to do these things? And I just couldn't find myself doing that. So what I did do is put stuff in that I was interested in. I put that time and effort into that. So I started editing more videos, and I started doing other content creation. Now what I've done is I started doing a podcast. Actually 2, in fact. So I did Top 3. Top 3 is a really fun project that I have. I would encourage you to check it out. The link's below. It's called Top 3 Podcast, or Top 3. And it's just a couple friends. And we get together. We rate whatever we're rating of the day. Beer, pickles, coffee. So we rate our favorites, and then we rate them 1, 2, and 3. It's a really fun concept. It's a really fun atmosphere. Just a couple friends just getting together. And I encourage you to see that. The other podcast I have is something my background is in pastoral work, and my background is also in politics. So I've combined that with this podcast, and I talk about the things that you're not supposed to talk about. In fact, I avoided that for years. I went away from all of those things really for about 6 years, and I didn't talk about them on stream. But I'm good talking about those things now. And I'll tell you what, I've actually received more support and more success on just 2-3 weeks of my Paul Pro-Size podcast than I ever did as a mixer partner or any of the stuff that I've done streaming. One, because I was honest with myself and saying, even though I love playing video games, I'm always going to play video games, probably till the day I die. I love playing video games, and that's fun. And I'll still broadcast. I'll still do my streams on Facebook or Twitch because I'm a partner on Facebook. And even though I'm not getting the views that I used to, at least now I can be honest and say, I'm not putting in that grind that's necessary. I'm not putting the content creation on Facebook. I'm not doing these things. I'm not posting videos on YouTube regularly. I'm not doing these things. So at least I'm being honest with myself, and you need to do that too. You need to take inventory of where you're at. And if you're not doing these things and you're not willing to do it, then just call yourself a hobbyist streamer. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to make it a career, and that's okay to do, just have realistic expectations. Realize that you are going to be, if you want to make it as a career, you are going to have to go against some of the biggest streamers to vie for their viewership. And that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you have the support, you have realistic conversations with yourself, and you have realistic expectations where this might go and how long it might take. Some of these guys that everybody compares themselves to, Ninja and Shroud and Summit 1G, even Harris Heller, have talked about the years of stuff that they had to do before they made it. I mean, years, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years before they made it. Streaming to nobody, streaming to just their friends or their spouse that's sitting in the same room or whatever. That I've been there, done that. I just don't know if I have it in me to grind the gaming stuff anymore. But what I am doing is I'm doing other content. So maybe you need to make a shift to different content. Maybe it doesn't need to be streaming. Maybe you need to do just chatting, or maybe you need to do a podcast, or maybe you have an amazing talent in something and teaching people how to do those things. One of my talents is actually teaching. So I'm going to be having more content creation about teaching people different things. That's really what my podcast is about, having honest conversations and saying, hey, what can we learn from this in society, in our faith or lack of faith, or whatever we believe. We can discuss these things. I'm really passionate about that. So I'm finding success over there. And if you are interested in seeing that, go to Paul Pro-Size, PROSISE.com. You can find all my links there. You can find all my links below here for the YouTube channel or Facebook, wherever you're seeing this. And I'll have all the links for any way that you can support me moving forward, either with gaming or the real life podcasting stuff that's going on. Be willing to have tough conversations with yourself. It's not easy. Streaming, if you want to become successful in streaming and any kind of content creation stuff, you have to be a shameless self-promoter, but not in that cringy way. So I'm telling you guys, my name is Paul Pro-Size. Would you guys please support my efforts? There it is. That was hard for me. That's actually like, ugh, hate it. Guys, I'll see you soon. You can find this video either on my Paul Pro-Size video or my Tiny Paul YouTube. I'm going to do a little cross promotion thing. We'll see where it goes. All right, you guys have a good day. We'll see you later.